Hello folks, South Jersey Sam here. Now, I have no problem answering questions on my Tumblr page, but there was one particular question that was a rather interesting topic. The question is from a user named Joseph1357, and he asks, any thoughts on Hanna-Barbera, the studio? That's a good question, because the studio and its founders have had a very interesting history, which lasted for at least 50 years. Normally I would go over the history of the studio, but we would be here forever. But if you want to know more about Hanna-Barbera's history, check out the Animation Lookback series of Hanna-Barbera, created by my friend Animat. And for now, I'll just do a brief run-through of what they have accomplished. With their humble beginnings in MGM, they had created a short called Puss Gets the Boot, which would later become the start of the ever-popular Tom and Jerry series. But with the invention of television, their theater run began to fade away until other animators began to work on more shorts. But Hanna-Barbera refused to quit, as they had decided to bring animation to the television industry. The result was the Ruff and Reddy show. However, due to the tight budget they had at the time, they had to limit the animation, which would become their trademark for later projects. Despite this flaw, their popularity would increase as they would release many other shows as the years rolled by. The Huckleberry Hound Show, the Quick Draw McGraw Show, the Flintstones, the Jetsons, Jonny Quest, the Yogi Bear Show, the Banana Splits, Wacky Races, Scooby-Doo, Hong Kong Phooey, Wait Till Your Father Gets Home, Super Friends, the Smurfs, the Pirates of the Dark Water, SWAT Cats, Two Stupid Dogs, Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken, and Powerpuff Girls. Oh shit, I need a breather. So yeah, they have had an extensive history, and you can certainly respect the legacy as many others have. Even I respect them. As I was growing up watching channels like Nickelodeon and Disney, I happened to watch Cartoon Network and saw so many cartoons from the Looney Tunes to Tex Avery. But out of the many cartoons shown, it was the Hanna-Barbera cartoons that really had a lot of great quality in their programs, even if there were a few flukes. But what was great about having their old shows re-aired on Cartoon Network was how it would bring the old fans and build a new generation of viewers. Hell, you can't help but think that Will Hanna and Joe Barbera influenced a lot of people during the time, as they helped produce a couple of shows and shorts for newcomers that would later gain popularity with their projects. People like Jendy Tartakovsky, Craig McCracken, David Feiss, Butch Hartman, Seth MacFarlane, Lauren Faust, and countless others. These people would either create their own cartoon shows or would work as part of a creative team, which would later build up their popularity. And some of these people would work on other Hanna-Barbera projects. Some were good, like Flintstones on the Rocks, and some were...
So how come when he does something awful, he's my son? And when he does something good, he's your son? Shut up! Yogi, no!
Decent, to say the least. There have been other projects based off of their shows that would change the perspective of humor for cartoons, such as Space Ghost Coast to Coast and Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. But all good things have to come to an end, and it eventually happened for the two, as their brand name company had faded within Warner Brothers Studios and Cartoon Network. And even after Hanna's death in 2001, Barbera would try to keep making various projects based on their shows and shorts until his death in 2006. Even after they passed on, what was to become of their projects? What was to happen to every cartoon they had worked on for 50 years? Well, they still keep showing the cartoons on Boomerang, but Warner Brothers managed to release the shows on DVD as well. And to this day, they still make more movies and shorts based on Hanna-Barbera's work. And this is where I have a mixed reaction. Now, it wasn't until the early 2000s that I felt like the projects Warner Brothers would produce were losing the type of quality that Hanna-Barbera would make. To be fair, they have improved their work, like giving a new spin on the Scooby-Doo movies, like actually having real monsters, ghosts, and other supernatural beings. But after a few spin-off shows, movies, and specials, it has become tiresome. Tom and Jerry has had a few dozen their projects, from the lukewarm spin-off series to the dull direct-to-video films. Most of the other projects have been pretty quiet, but it wouldn't be until they would receive live-action films. The first was the Flintstones movie, but that was a bit of a stanker. Then some idiot decided to make a prequel, and it sucked. Then Scooby-Doo had a live-action movie, and it was hated by critics. Then it had a sequel, and it had the same reaction, and a Razzie Award for Worst Remake/Sequel. Then Yogi Bear had a live-action movie, and critics hated it. Then the Smurfs had a live-action movie, and critics hated it. Then it had a sequel, and it had the same reaction. why the hell would they basically ruin the good nature that made these cartoons great and basically ruin them with bad humor and modern day references? Who knows? They made millions of dollars on each film and basically suckered the audience, basically insulting our intelligence. Even when Warner Brothers went back to make more animated movies based on Hanna-Barbera's cartoons, they made bad crossover ideas. Before then, Hanna-Barbera would make numerous crossover shows and specials. The best one was the Jetsons meet the Flintstones. What do we have now? A Tom and Jerry Wizard of Oz crossover, and a Scooby-Doo WWE crossover. Fuck that shit! So, in response to what my thoughts are on Hanna-Barbera today, I say they're dead in the water and there's not much to be done about it. It just seems like they're going too far with these films and specials that it just loses the quality of entertainment that made them great. While the animation has improved over the years, the humor has changed and not in a good way. And even with the new Tom and Jerry show out on TV, I'm still skeptical in regards to the direction it's going in, whether it will be the same or something different. But no matter what, I still feel like the cartoons will never live up to their predecessors. Because when Hanna-Barbera created or produced cartoons, they went with the quality of entertainment. If the show was meant for humor, they went with humor. If the show was going for a mystery, they went with mystery. If the show was going for action, they went with action. When they made a cartoon, they went for the quality of character, made the story worthwhile, and the genre interesting. They didn't bullshit around with pop cultural references.
Yo, Yogi, yo, Yogi! Let's go!
Okay, maybe a few, but not as a main focus in all of their cartoons. But even when they went with certain subjects, they did what they could to handle it and didn't try to insult everyone's intelligence. So to say these two were influential would be an understatement, because they helped bring animation into the television industry. While they aren't as good as other animation producers like Hayao Miyazaki, Ralph Bakshi, or Walt Disney, they certainly knew what to work with, and the legacy they had would not go unnoticed. We could still look back on their work in the past and say thank you for what they have done. I'm South Jersey Sam, and I'll catch you all later. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, as well as Channel Frederator and Cartoon Hangover. Also, visit me and Channel Frederator on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. Just click on the annotations. And for more of my videos, visit me on Mr. Coat and Friends, which is thatfellowinthecoat.com. Booyah!